Attention! Class is now in session.
Onward, sailors! What treasures await us?
Oh, now what is all this mess? Oh my, a roguish adventurer, finally. Sorry about the mess. I usually keep things so neat. When things get dirty, oh, I get so flustered. Well, a shapely woman came prancing through. Tousled hair, firm buttocks, and oh, the bosoms. Anyway, the book sprung to life behind her. Toothsome beasts and sweaty, rugged fighters appeared in her wake. Ooh, is it getting hot in here? Oh, I've got plenty of ideas. Oh, wait. You mean to banish them? I'm such a silly thing. The creatures seem bound to their books. If you close a book and slide it back onto the shelf, that might work. Instinct. Raw, untamed instinct. If that fails, I suppose you could check the shelves. Maybe some outwardly prudish but secretly lustful archivist labeled them. Just be sure to put the books on the right shelf. These tomes seem very particular.
Release me, you talentless hack. Your story ends here.
Want a little extortion among friends?
I need healing! Stop interrupting! Then came a bellow and a blast of chill wind. The hero's fate was sealed.
I seem to be making a lot of enemies.
Oh, you just won't stop, will you?
No more! Get out of my head!
Black. You're bored just like the rest. I'll finish this hero myself.
I can't! Is it gone?
I'm free. Finally. Wait, where am I? Yes, I remember now. The creature. It's called the Illuminated One. It feeds on stories, on conflict and drama. The more exciting, the better. I fear all this fighting and chasing and anxiety has just made it stronger. It's grown powerful enough to manifest as a material being. That makes it more dangerous. But it also gives us an opportunity to fight it. If you hunt it down and beat it into submission, it will have no choice but to return to the Illuminus.
Go back. You can't do this. My masterpiece.
I feel different. Wait, did I? I said some terribly improper things, didn't I? Oh, I am so sorry. Please believe me, I'm normally meek as a newborn turtle. It's just these romance novels, you see. Oh, you get the idea.
All my classmates and professors are finally coming to their senses. Whatever you did appears to have worked. Did you really defeat this creature? The Illuminated One? Thank the Divines! You know, Gladia finally solved the mystery of why I was spared. The Illuminated One thought I was too boring. Imagine that. I guess it pays to be dull sometimes. And to have strong allies like you. Take care, Caraval. All my classmates, thank the divine.
I sincerely hope whatever...
You know, coral's just weird sack animal bones, right? So, this is a bit like a cemetery, I guess. Ugh, you do not want to know what their ghosts look like. Old cheese. I'll leave it at that.
Put the book away, Paradon. You're sucking the fun out of this whole affair.
Any griffin that could see us now would think this is a farce, not a hunting party.
Honestly, I think she plans to do something rash. She might even attack the guards. Ugh. Never. Ah, another newcomer. Delightful. What exactly can I do for you? What keen ears you have. You heard us discussing a private matter from way over there. Impressive. Perhaps you can put that inquisitive nature to good use. A newcomer, much like you, is stirring up trouble here in Lilandril. A member of the Mages Guild murdered a Sapiarch, but now the murderer's friend is railing against the conviction, loudly. Talk some sense into her, would you? She might listen to another guest. You'll find her outside the Fighters Guild.
No, that won't do. The color must be vibrant. Finally, the courier. I expected you hours ago. You must acquire my materials at once. And don't think I'll compensate you for the rush, given you're the one who was late. Oh, well, I can hardly keep track of every face I hire. An artist's work is endless. I need colors. Rich, rare, vibrant. After all, this painting will be the masterpiece of my career. I simply cannot work with mediocre shades. Reagents, ingredients, naturally, of course. I require that you gather the supplies needed to make the vivid paint this masterwork requires. Just take this list. Oh, and this tea, of course, you'll need it to acquire the first item. Now hurry along. I really do need you to hurry along. Inspiration could strike me at any moment, and I simply must have the perfect colors when that time comes. Oh, of course, you're a fan. Well, I'm not surprised my popularity precedes me. I'm sure it's not every day that you meet an artist of my caliber. As long as it doesn't delay you for too long, you may ask me some questions. From what I gather, Somerset views its artists rather differently than the rest of Tamriel. It's one of the few ways to rise above your family's station and enter the world of the elite. This masterpiece shall be my final step. Oh, no. Being a renowned artist is a station all its own, and a highly respected one at that. From this generation forth, my descendants shall say my name with reverence. What more could one ask for? I'm known for my art, yes, but I need something to set me apart. A painting that shall hang for centuries, worshipped by those who gaze upon it. To do so, I need breathtaking, resplendent colors, vivid, powerful, emotional. Hamelin's dye produces the most gorgeous teal you'll ever see. The Yokuden tea I've given you should be a good enough trade. Brodron's bug carcasses create grays with flashes of silver. He's already received payment, so just tell him my name. The Aurealis. Oh, such a glowing orange it produces. Beautiful enough to bring tears to your eyes. The flowers are rare, but I happen to know a hilltop where they still grow. I've marked all the locations for you in the note.
Hard at work, Tindoria? How goes your finger painting?
Ah, very well. I see you've deigned to step out of your florid abode. Come to see how a real artist creates.
I'd enlighten you with a response, but we both know my skill speaks for itself.
Why, you're certainly skilled at boasting. If only you had the artistic sense Auriel gave a mudhopper, you might produce something of worth.
Your tongue remains as sharp as your wits. When I'm declared the Royal Court's newest artist, I'll be sure to send you an invitation to dinner.
What a kind offer, though I'm sure that won't be necessary. After all, we both know that I'll be the one to acquire that position.
Well?
Who in Oblivion are you? I left explicit instructions with the manager of this establishment that I was not to be disturbed under any circumstances. Let's keep our voice down, shall we? So, the Hulkind disappoints once again. How utterly expected. As the one who delivered my parcel, I suspect you'll want the reward. Have it, and be off with you. I'm astonished the Hulkind refused to complete this task himself. I'm sure honest work isn't easy to come by for one of his status. Something more important than the obligation he had to me. Hulkins have no sense of honor. It comes with being raised without a family, you know. That's why no one trusts them. Of course, an femme such as yourself wouldn't understand. A family sets expectations. Here in Somerset, all we do is for our family's honor. There's no hope for someone who doesn't have even that to guide them. You do not, cannot understand the painstaking preparation, the ritual consumption, and the artful flavors of an Indrik heart. It is a delicacy fit for only the finest gourmets. The question itself betrays your unworthiness for such pleasures.
Sometimes I wish the criminals and lawbreakers would take a holiday. Then the officers of the Divine Prosecution could catch up on our paperwork. Is there something you need, newcomer? A writ of authenticity for a Nord ambassador? That's a highly unusual request, considering that a newcomer is the one making it. The Divine Prosecution requires weeks, sometimes even months, to properly audit diplomatic credentials. Vindilwyn. She loves to engage in the commerce of favors. Very well. A cup and bowl were stolen from the Alinor Palace. Favorites of the Queen, I'm told. Recover these items, and I might be persuaded to issue Rigurd a writ of authenticity. Ideas? Plenty. Proof? Nothing that would hold up in a court of law. Not yet, anyway. But I'm more concerned with recovering the items. Stolen goods usually find their way to the pirates in Waston Coraldale. I'd start my search there if I were you.
Stay strong, Emil. I'll get you out of this.
Secure the prisoner in the Fighters Guild. Off you go.
You're a member of the Mages Guild, aren't you? Please, you have to help me. The Sapiarchs accused one of our compatriots, my best friend, of a murder he didn't commit. They won't even consider the possibility that he's innocent. Another Sapiarch named Haladon. Emil arrived at the gates of Lilandril, carrying Haladon's body, and confessed to the crime. But he seemed shocked, confused. I know Emil better than anyone. He's not capable of something like this. I swear it. He's a pacifist for Mara's sake. The Sapiarch's investigation was a joke. They just took Emil at his word and handed down the sentence. Of course, the local guild magister rolled over like she always does. Coward. Please, I need your help. The Sapiarchs say Emil confessed to murdering Haladon, but he'd never murder anyone. He loved Haladon. I don't know if he's confused or disoriented, but I do know he wouldn't do it. Please, talk to Emil. Convince him to recant his confession. Emil and I are both members of the Mages Guild chapter here in Lilandril, and students of the guild's chief diplomat, Kalawende. As for our relationship, Emil is my dearest friend. Has been since we were both in diapers. I don't know if he'll listen to anyone, but I don't have a choice. The Sapiarchs and Mages Guild consider the matter settled, and they've forbidden me from speaking to Emil further. No one has forbidden you to speak to him. You can still reach him. An order of High Elf scholars and mages. They walk the halls of power here in Somerset, observing and advising. Of course, there's a thin line between advising and ruling by proxy. They're not over fond of us guild mages. They think we're reckless. To the Sapiarchs, stepping in puddles is reckless. Not folding your linens is reckless. By their standards, my 90-year-old grandmother is wild as a foal in springtime. No, the guild values new ideas, novel approaches, but it's far from reckless. He and Emil were very close. If you'd asked me before all this happened, I'd have wagered that one or the other was shopping for a Ring of Mara. They had common interests, but more than that, they had common values. Gods, what a tragedy. Restoration magic, wards against disease and curses, that sort of thing. They'd been researching ways to prevent lycanthropy, vampirism, and other afflictions. You see, the Emil I know dedicated his life to healing people, not murdering them. Absolutely not. Emil's gentle as a lamb, and Haladon didn't have a conniving bone in his body. The tension between the Guild and the Sapiarchs weighed on them a bit, but not so much that it would drive them apart. Like I said, Emil is innocent.
I don't have anything to say to you or anyone else. Please, go. Yes. She's wrong. What? No, no. They already did an investigation. I murdered Haladon. It was me. Why are you inserting yourself into matters that don't concern you? I murdered a Sapiarch. I accept responsibility and my punishment. Go away. I don't want your help.
You there? Why are you interrogating Emil? I am Kalawende, Chief Diplomat of the Mages Guild. I apologize for my tone. This has been a trying time. The Sapiarchs consider this matter closed, you know. What are you doing exactly? Who sent you? Our interests may align. I am Kalawende, Chief Diplomat of the... Vivine. Look, I've uncovered something odd as well. The Sapiarchs have made it very difficult for me to intervene directly. Perhaps you can help. Emil met a shady merchant named Galador prior to the murder. That's very out of character for him. That's what I came here to find out. But it seems Emil doesn't want to talk. Galador has deep connections to Lilandril smugglers and thieves. If you learn what Emil purchased from Galador, we might gain some insight into Haladan's murder. Galador stores his business ledger in one of the inn's larger suites. Unfortunately, he placed a hex on the book, making it impossible to read without a passphrase. If you discover the passphrase, you should be able to learn what Emil purchased. My contacts tell me that Galador left the city on business. Goodness knows what time. No one will accost you while you investigate. Just be careful. It cannot become known the Mages Guild is investigating this matter after the Sapiarchs forbid it. She is tenacious. She often volunteers to help others. You won't find a more zealous advocate for the Mages Guild's goals and mission. In truth, I've never had a greater pupil, aside from Emil, of course. In my experience, people use talent as an excuse for idleness and lack of effort. Emil and Vivine both enjoy great natural ability, but Emil's focus on restoration magic indicates purer motives. He also works harder than anyone I know. Truthfully, I'd love to. But as a diplomat, I don't have that luxury. The Sapiarchs consider the matter settled, and officially, our Mages Guild has accepted their ruling. I have a duty to preserve our relations with the Sapiarchs. It has exacerbated tensions that already exist. The Sapiarchs see this murder as evidence of our negligence. Members of the Guild resent it, so we're caught in something of a downward spiral. Yes, the guard who found Emil, Milleron, the Sapiarchs classified him as a Ryazen, a critical witness. Anyone with close ties to Emil is forbidden to speak with him, but not you. I'll find out where they've hidden Milleron. You look into Galador. over here. I trust you were successful. My own inquiries were fruitful. I've learned where we must go next in this investigation. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you manage to break Galador's wards? What did you find? Honestly? What would Emil want with sheep's blood? And syringes? I'd suspect blood magic or chemical addiction if I didn't know Emil. Neither of those items are illegal. He must have bought them from Galador to keep the purchase a secret. I'll try to figure out what Emil wanted with these items. Meanwhile, I found the guard who arrested Emil, Milleront. I'm forbidden to speak to him, but you are not. The Sapiarchs moved Milleront to Lilandril's docks. Find out what he knows.
Welcome to Lilandril. Just off the boat. Lots of sailors coming and going. Just don't forget to submit your shipping manifests to the harbor master. Unless there's something else you need. Sad business, that. I was at my post when I saw Emil with a body slung over his shoulder. Once he reached the gate, he slid Haladan's corpse onto the ground and collapsed. He just knelt there sobbing, saying, "I killed him over and over." He didn't seem mad, if that's what you're asking, but he wasn't lucid either. When it comes to murderers, I've met more than my fair share. So you can trust me when I say Emil's no murderer. He might have killed Haladan, but it wasn't on purpose. Look, you need to promise me you'll keep this to yourself. Saltbreeze Cave is just south of here. Well-worn entrance, wizard's tools scattered about. I tried to tell the Sapiarchs about it, but your answers are in that cave. Guaranteed. This business with Emil was just too odd. Once the Sapiarchs convicted him, I had to find the truth of it. I took my coursing hound, Othelus, down to the gate and had him follow Haladan's blood trail. It led right to the mouth of that cave. No, Saltbreeze has a sour reputation. It used to be a popular haunt for the city youth to drink, sing, fornicate, that sort of thing. Then we lost a pair of lovebirds in a salamander attack. It's been abandoned ever since. At least we thought so. Of course they did. They'd already declared Emil guilty of the murder. Can't lose face over something like this. You got a confession, Milleront, just let it go. Humph. They're just anxious to be done with this whole affair. That's the other thing. Haladan looked like he'd been thrown off a cliff. Legs broken, blood leaking out of his ears, collapsed ribcage. You tell me how a wiry Breton could do that to someone. It doesn't make a whit of sense. Unless he can conjure up a stone club the size of an ox yoke, I just can't imagine it. I'll tell you to examine the body yourself, but the Sapiarchs already burned it. Convenient.
I've checked over Lilendrill from top to bottom, and there's no sign of the Court of Bedlam. I can't get the Portal Master to let me go to the college compound, though. Have you brought permission from the Proxy Queen? Good, good. I was about to turn that insignificant book dust into something small, wet, and slimy. It would have made matters worse, but it might have brightened the dark mood I've been in. Sorry, I don't mean to burden you with my troubles. No, the mission is more important than personal matters. I'm sure Lathan will turn up, eventually. In the meantime, you should talk to the Portal Master and see if she's ready to grant us access to the college. Lathan and I met when we were initiates of the Psijic Order. We fell in love and married, had a daughter. We had all the things we ever wanted. And then everything changed. After we lost our daughter, Lathan grew distant, more subdued. It happened ages ago, after a long illness. We lived on an island filled with the most accomplished sages of our age, and there was nothing that could be done. We tried. I tried. But the illness took her in the end. Lathan was never the same. No, it wasn't like that. When the Rite Master first learned of the possible Daedric threat, Lathan volunteered to look into it. We both thought it would be good for Lathan to get away, give him something to occupy his time. Then he disappeared. Lathan's reports became less frequent. Then he stopped sending them altogether. I'd know if he was dead, but he could be a prisoner or hurt. My main concern right now is the threat posed by the Daedric princes. Lathan will have to wait.
Not now, please. I really must prepare for tonight's lecture. Besides, only those with permission may enter the College of Sapiarchs. We can't have just anyone wandering around the compound. So you're the luminary the Proxy Queen wants me to treat with kid gloves. And I suppose the arrogant Psijic is with you? Oh, very well. Let's get this over with. The compound has been purposely isolated to serve as a sanctuary and place of study. Research and scholarship require solitude and quiet, after all. We use magic to travel back and forth. I'll prepare the portal dais when you're ready to cross. Just follow me and step onto the dais.
Who's there? Please don't hurt me. I mean you no harm. Emil? Is that you? Where is Haladon? Is he all right? Auriel, forgive me. Please listen carefully. Emil did not murder Haladon. I swear it. The two of them only sought to help me. I suffered from a mysterious affliction. Haladon and Emil infected me with vampirism to halt the disease's progress. Gods, no! I came here with my companion Gerwardel. By the time we arrived, her illness was terminal. Emil tried to administer the cure to her too, but she broke free and attacked Haladon. There was so much shouting. I thought maybe they escaped. Stone abominations. Vampiric alchemy. If the Sapiarchs found out that Haladon had a hand in this tragedy, they would strike his name from the histories. Emil would never let that happen. Read Haladon's notes, you'll see the truth of it. Absolutely. Haladon and Emil loved each other deeply. It was obvious from the moment I arrived. Emil would never let something he did jeopardize Haladon's reputation. Were their roles reversed, Haladon would do the same thing. Guaranteed. I don't think you understand the Sapiarchs. It wouldn't be a simple matter of not praying over Haladon's grave. They would expunge his memory entirely. Every discovery he made, every scholarly paper, everything. It would be like he never existed. Undoubtedly. The Sapiarchs would probably dispatch a few vampire hunters to find me. But don't worry about that. I'll find a way to take care of myself. I believe so. The fog is gone. The flop sweats and sleepless nights with dreams of blood and stone. But the cost was high. Too high. Poor Haladon. And now there's the hunger. Yes, I can feel it creeping up the back of my throat. That thirst. It was just a tickle at first. Now, who knows how far it will go? Emil brewed this form of the virus alchemically. Maybe this will pass and I won't need to feed it all. I can hope. Never. Enough people have suffered on my account. Anyway, how would I find them? The shale skin disease claimed my sight before Emil had the chance to administer the treatment. I will find a way to survive without harming others. You have my word. My new condition does have a few benefits. My senses are keener now than they've ever been. I can hear the flutter of a moth's wings and smell lichens in the next room. It's enough. It will have to be enough. They called it osteochondritic fever, a rare virus that hardens the skin like stone and oyster shell. And as if that weren't bad enough, it also drives you insane. Gerwardel had already succumbed to the madness when she attacked Haladon. We were part of a merchant fleet that got blown off course, wound up beached on an island full of slowed mischief. Something in the air there, or perhaps the water. All of us were infected. So far as I know, I'm the only one that survived. Truthfully, because he was the kindest, most generous mayor I've ever known. We were childhood friends, you see. When I wrote to him about my condition, he didn't even hesitate. He just bid me come to Lilandra, no questions asked.
to Lilandro, prove Emil's innocence. I'll find my way. Somehow.
You again? I told you, I don't want to talk about this. I'm guilty. What? No. No, you're mistaken. No, no, no. You can't believe her. She's lying. I attacked Haladon. I killed him. You're making this up. No one will believe it. No. Please, you must burn those notes. If the Sapiarchs learn what Haladon and I did, he'll be ruined. Disgraced. All his work will be for nothing. And Norasea... Mara, save me. Poor Norasea. They'll kill her. Please, you must keep this a secret.
Poor Emil. He meant well. But these are shocking revelations. I never thought he'd be so reckless. Creating a potion to deliberately infect someone with vampirism? By the eight. If this gets out, the Sapiarchs may never trust us again. I care for Emil, but I have a whole guild to consider. We've brought many outsiders to Somerset, and our relations here are tenuous at best. Even if Emil didn't murder Haladon, creating a potion this hazardous is still grounds for exile. I spoke to Sapiarch Saratarel. If Emil makes a full confession, the Sapiarchs will let us handle the details of his imprisonment. I've arranged for Emil to return to Stormhaven. A familiar setting, sympathetic guards. It's the best I can do. No, but then there are many forms of freedom. Wouldn't you agree? Emil will have access to our vast library and ample opportunity to write and publish. He can still play a vital role in the advancement of the arcane arts. You have my word.
By Magnus, if what you say is true, Emil's innocent. You seem hesitant. Don't get bogged down in the details of his experiments. The important thing is that he didn't murder Haladon. You have to take this to the Sapiarchs. She's a vampire. I grew up in Shornhelm, and I know how dangerous they are. They drink people's blood for Mara's sake. Look, I pity Norasea, but we can't destroy Emil's life over one bad decision. Setting a vampire free is reckless. You know that. Haladon's dead, and if he truly loved Emil, he would gladly suffer humiliation to keep his beloved out of prison. You know that. As for the Guild endures. We'll be fine. Just do the right thing.
There's nothing to consider. Even if I didn't kill Haladon, the vampirism was my idea. He never would have agreed to it if I hadn't pushed him. Haladon meant more to me than you'll ever know. His memory is all I have left. Don't ruin it. Please. Oh, Mara bless you. Losing Haladon was awful. I still see his bloody face with my waking eyes. The only thing keeping me sane is the knowledge that I might spare his reputation and the friend he dearly loved. Thank you for this kindness.
You have new evidence to present? Very well. I trust your investigation was thorough and unbiased? Or rather, as thorough and unbiased as an itinerant newcomer can manage. What new evidence do you wish to enter into the official record? Well, that is a surprise. As farcical as your investigation might have been, I appreciate your willingness to side with the facts. It does much to restore my opinion of the Mages Guild in Lilandril. I've already spoken with the Guild diplomat, Kalawende. We resolved to send Emil back to Stormhaven. Leaving a Breton to rattle around in a high elf prison would reflect poorly on all of us. Better to imprison him among his own kind. Mercifully, yes. The Mages Guild promised to imprison Emil for the rest of his brief Breton life. I have no reason to doubt their sincerity, given your honesty today. Let us put this matter behind us. The Guild and the Sapiarchs must move forward. Now then, I see no reason to delay Emil's exile. I will formalize his conviction today, have him turned over to the Mages Guild shortly thereafter. This sordid affair has caused enough pain. I'll not draw it out. Your honesty and Kalawende's willingness to accede to our demands give me hope for the future. The Mages Guild suffers from all the vices of youth, but perhaps, with our help, it can grow into an organization worthy of its proud high elf heritage.
What do you need? Quickly now, I haven't got all day.
Why me?
Under pregnant golden sail, star-eyed bride about
Welcome! You stand amidst the Circle of Champions, a guild formed to test the greatest fighters of the realm in games of skill. Do you have what it takes? Of course. Now, we may have many games available. Which challenge would you like to know about? Ever the curious one, eh? Good. Knowledge can be key to a decisive victory. What other challenge would you care for me to explain?
This beast is nothing we've seen before. I can tell you that much.
Whatever could this creature be?
If you've come to rob me, I'm afraid I have little of value. I can help if you've a high fever or nervous stomach, but I have no need for gold these days. Healthy paranoia, I suppose. There's plenty of questionable characters out here, but I prefer it to the crowded cities. Too many myrrh going on about their appearance or their status or their career. I'm done with such trivialities. Oh, it's been a long time since my former student has contacted me, and now she makes such demands. How quickly she forgets who trained her to hold a paintbrush. I have no need for gold. You can tell her that upon your empty-handed return. This is Yokudan blue tea? I thought it lost forever. The last shipment was said to have sunk to the bottom of the Abyssan Sea. Oh, she's still clever, isn't she? Her and Verilel always were. Very well. Take my mixture. It's a good trade. Yes, back when I had the inclination to bother with such upstarts, I thought that would be my legacy, to train great artists who would blossom under a careful eye. Sadly, all they did was rot in their own hubris. The life of a Somerset artist is not easy. It's not enough to be merely great. You have to be better. Both Tindoria and Verarel wilted under that pressure. I blame myself for agreeing to tutor them together. Their rivalry seemed harmless at first, even friendly, just something to keep them motivated. But as it tends to be, one of them was always a step ahead. Soon any praise I had for one would pierce the pride of the other. And now they've both grown bitter and endlessly jealous of the other's success. They believe Somerset only has room for one great artist. Such foolishness. Honestly, it was their squabbling that led me to stop taking students.
Vindilwyn told me where she sent you. I've been having the most interesting conversation with this divine prosecution person here. Did you know the tall elves have at least 3 rules for every possibility? Oh, did you find the stolen goods? Rigert is so happy he could kiss you! The last time I did that, though, Thane Mera punched me in the nose, so... I know. Let's give the good Justiciar one of my Nord keepsakes. Which one do you think he'd like best? Interesting. The stuffed goat represents stoic bravery, and she never breaks any rules. I mean, how could she? She's dead. Anyway, she stands for all the same things as the divine prosecution. Yes, I think that's the perfect gift to give to the Justiciar. The Nord Cultural Exchange proudly returns the Queen's stolen items. And this stuffed goat, it's a Nord treasure.
Remarkable work. I'll grant you that writ of authenticity now. A word of advice. If Vindilwyn refuses to help, remind her that the Divine Persecution might remember the incident at the Battle Reeves dinner party.
I have said. The Proxy Queen is unable to hold an audience with petitioners at this time. There are other affairs that require her attention.
I honestly never expected to see either you or Ambassador Riggett again. Can I assume this means you acquired the items I specified? So I see. I'll just file the documents away for later review, and slip those tickets into my bodice for safekeeping. We should be able to process your request and schedule an appointment for, oh, let's say 5 weeks from next Mondays. You're lucky I'm entertaining the Nord's request at all. Take the appointment and be grateful for this time with the Proxy Queen. I know newcomers who would kill for a meeting sometime this year, let alone in 5 weeks. Now, if you don't mind.
Riggert is so disappointed. How can I negotiate peace if I can't even get an audience with the High Elf Proxy Queen? What a terrible predicament this has turned out to be. Do you have any brilliant ideas, my friend? Of course. Threaten the snooty High Elf with a scandal. High Elves hate scandals, snooty or otherwise. Watch how Riggert negotiates a difficult situation. No, better idea. You do it! That way Riggert gets to be the good Nord. More believable that way.
Back again? You and that Nord are worse than a plague of fell runners in a field of swamp nettles. What do you want this time? He did what? How dare he? Why, I have a mind to... No, no. I see how it is. Very well. Tell the Ambassador I'm impressed by his ruthless use of rumor and innuendo. I'll let the Proxy Queen know that Riggert is her next appointment.
What happened? Did the threatening words do the trick? Or is Riggert in even more trouble with the snooty High Elves now? She did? I mean, of course she did! Riggert had every confidence in you. Thank you, my friend. Take this with the gratitude of the Nord Cultural Exchange. I think you'll like it better than that stinky essence of mammoth that I saw you ogling.
Proxy Queen Eleanorway, may I present the Nord Ambassador, Riggert the Brash.
Pleased to be seeing your beautiful face, Your Majesty. Sign the treaty, and we can break for dinner. Unless you want to be negotiating first.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Ambassador. I'll listen to what you have to say, and we'll see where the evening takes us.
As long as the evening includes lots of mead, that sounds fine to me.
Ambassador, I find your Nordish inclinations to be most refreshing.
Oh, Riggert has plenty of inclinations, Your Majesty.
We look forward to finding out all about your inclinations, Ambassador Riggert. Come along. The royal chef makes a rabbit meatball pie that you'll absolutely devour.
As I have said, the Proxy Queen is unable to hold an audience with petitioners.
Over here, Initiate. Greetings. I have a message for you from Velast, Mistress of Incunabula. Indeed. She has a task for you. You'll want to speak with her as soon as you can. Velast awaits you at the Guild Hall in Davin's Watch, along the eastern coast of Stonefalls. Of course. What can I tell you? The Mistress of Incunabula for the Guild. The Keeper of Tomes. She's the Guild's most accomplished lore master, second only really to Guildmaster Vanus himself. I don't, but she usually tries to offer new guildmates a chance to prove themselves. As you might imagine, she's keenly interested in acquiring new books for the lore library. Maybe she's got a lead on a trove of tomes?
The depravity of Daedric worship is running rampant through our lands. Look around! Anyone gathered here?
These blasted guards. Perhaps there's a window. No, that won't do. So we meet again. Always nice and rare to see a friendly face. I'm afraid I don't have time to chat at the moment. I'm trying to seek entrance into this winery, but the guards refuse to let me in, despite my invitation. Tableau has left the House of Reveries, and tonight is her art debut. I've received an invitation, but I suspect her patron caught wind of my arrival. Lilowen doesn't quite accept me as an acquaintance. In truth, I only wish to attend to check on Tableau. Her invitation came with a note outlining concerns for her safety. Could you perhaps go in and check on her? Make sure things run smoothly. It would mean a good deal to me if you would. Lilowen should be able to tell you where you can find Tableau. Just look for a noble type who looks like she has a stick up her ass. Well, more so than usual. Meet me behind the vineyard afterward. I'd rather not overstay my welcome here. Perhaps we were, but we've now gone our separate ways. Her choice of me as an acquaintance was always questionable, but mostly accepted when she was part of the House of Reveries. Once she acquired a patron, I felt it best to leave. Overly sentimental. Still, it's best this way. A reputable artist within Somerset is thought very highly of. It would never do to be seen with a Hulkind. I only came tonight out of concern for her safety.
Once that's confirmed, I'll be on my way. My intentions are completely honorable, I assure you. There's no way I would harbor romantic intentions, given my status. Tableau is just one of the few Mer I consider a friend. The least I can do is keep her safe.
Strange. I don't remember seeing you on the guest list. What proof do you have? You're the 15th friend of hers to come out of the woodwork today. Why, I never knew she was so well connected before she debuted as Eleanor's newest artist. Perhaps you do know her. She's in the room upstairs, preparing. Would you be ever so useful and tell her to come down? I'd rather she not be late for her own debut. For such an outstanding artist, Tableau certainly seems to have a wide variety of friends. Stars forbid these attachments get in the way of her debut. Keeping her stage name is one thing. Her disreputable associates? Quite another. So you know the Hulkend as well? Aye, he's quite popular given his status. I never forbade Tableau from interacting with Manakar, but it seemed he understood his place well enough. For him to disrupt this debut, however, is a different matter. Tableau often has unnecessary sentiments. As her patron, it falls on me to bring her into the world of the elite. Sometimes that involves making such decisions. I certainly don't think I need to explain why Manakar is not an appropriate associate. Hate him? No, rather I pity him. A Mer without family cannot truly be considered a Mer, after all. Why, he's more than an outsider within Somerset. He's truly nothing. A broken child can never hope to become anything more. Did you truly think that Tableau was her actual name? Oh dear, of course not. The House of Reveries all have silly stage names such as that. Chuckle, Bug Eyes, that sort of thing. Quite the egregious practice, I must say. Of course they don't. Who would take someone named Bug Eyes seriously? But for Tableau, it works. After all, she is an artist. A certain air of mystery comes a long way if you know how to sell such things. I can't take it anymore. What could possibly be keeping you... oh, my. I'm ruined. I'll be the laughing stock of Eleanor.
I've never felt so happy.
Were you able to speak to Tableau? Did she mention me? I mean, is she all right? Slack. So I'm the reason she was in danger. I don't know who these blackbirds are, but I do know Groom. Luckily for us, he owes me a favor. Meet me in the Alinor Outlaws Refuge. It's time we paid my old friend a visit.
Well?
So you're Manakar's new friend, huh? How touching. He's filled me in on all the details. Just know I had no idea who the Blackbirds were targeting when I agreed to be their fence. Not that I'm pleased about ratting them out. That's right. And despite my belly aching, I'm not an orc who goes back on his word. That being said, I do have a reputation to uphold. This little meeting stays between us. Kingshaven Pass. That's where you need to go. Not sure, but Kingshaven is just one long valley. Move quickly enough, and you can catch them from behind or cut them off. Just need to watch out for the goblins. By Moloch, that's all I can tell you.
Then we head for Kingshaven. Kerr and I will go to the eastern end of the pass and set up an ambush. You cut off their retreat.
Hey, leave me that leg if you're not gonna finish it.
Hey there. Careful where you step. My livestock is having the dinner, and I won't have some bumbler stomping all over them. I've got enough trouble with their mating woes. These bugs happen to be the most desirable olive lint to crawl upon Somerset. Ground up, my beauties make the most brilliant shade of grey you ever did see. Why, I even got the artist Tindoria as a client. Oh, well, I did. What a shame. I always took her for one of the good ones. Never tried to cheat me or say I wasn't welcome. Always complimented my beauties when she visited. The ideal customer every time. To think that she would go so far as to sabotage my livestock. Because it turns out she's just like every other high elf on this island. I refused to sell my carapaces to her exclusively, and this is what happens. Verilel was just heartbroken when I had to turn him away. Yes, and he had quite a bit to say about Tindoria. He told me just last week she was complaining about my services. And I heard this wouldn't be the first time she's done something shady. Why, Ifra, to think I was so blind.
Wait, don't hurt me! This wasn't my idea, honest. I just did what I was paid to. Just let me go and I'll tell you everything. Oh, I don't know. Some sort of pheromone? It makes those nasty bugs sleepy, but that's it, I swear. It's not poison or anything. Why did I ever agree to work for that snobby artist? What? No, a fellow named Verilel. Nasty perfume, full of himself, typical artist. He paid me to sabotage this farm. Not quite sure why, but, well, I think it's about time I leave. No need to tell the authorities, right? That's it. This is the last time I get caught up in artist rivalries.
I trust your search was as fruitless as mine? He did? Well, honestly, I would love to believe that. Tindoria's support was the only thing I had going for my business for a long while. But what would Verilel have to gain from all this? That's true. Tindoria and Verilel have been rivals for as long as they've been artists. I even let that bastard convince me Tindoria was the one who did it. Ah, these artists and their rivalries. It's always us little people who are made to suffer. Here, take the last of my stock. I'm sorry I ever took the word of that perfumed pansy over Tindoria. Just glad I'm able to get her this shipment. That gentleman never did me a bit of harm.
mages in a zoo. Wow. You know, I'm endlessly fascinated by animals. A bit like walking plants, eh? Except with more, you know, fluids. Ugh, what a word that is.
Lotus! Lotus! Where are you, precious? You've picked a bad day for a stroll in the park. Something's got into the animals. They're running wild, frenzied. I don't suppose you saw an Indrik on your way here. A tame one? She's my charge, and pride of the Queen's menagerie. I need to find her. The Royal Menagerie. It holds exotic species from all over Tamriel. Now they're running loose, attacking the keepers and each other. It's a slaughter. It's too dangerous for a gentle Indrik like Lotus. Please, can you help me search for her? Oh, Lotus has only ever known kindness, gentle as a lamb. I hand-reared her from birth. She fled in the chaos, but she won't make it on her own. I have to find Lotus before she's hurt. Or worse. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't have wandered far. I hope. I wasn't at the epicenter of it all. I was about to feed Lotus when I started hearing the animals in a frenzy, yowling and slamming against their pens. Once the mammoths broke free, the whole place came apart at the seams. Total pandemonium. Indriks vaguely resemble deer, but you'd never mistake the two. Their horns and antlers sparkle like crystal, and their fronds and feathers are vibrant in any light. When Jeffers spun their shape, he made a tapestry of all life. I raised her from a fawn, watched her grow up. I can't imagine losing her this way. And the Queen would never forgive me. She and Lotus were inseparable, until the duties of the crown called her away. I made a vow to care for Lotus in her stead. A gift from the sovereign to his daughter when she was barely knee-high. Before she became queen, Her Highness spent many a day frolicking through the royal menagerie with Lotus. Hard to imagine now, I know. I didn't see anyone else come this way, but I hope the others made it to safety. I'd rather not dwell on the alternative. If anyone's still in peril, we should lend our aid. Indriks sometimes graze on these trees. Look around and let me know if you find anything. What did you find there? I don't see any sign of her here. Did you find anything? Stars! I've seen wild mammoths charge the enclosure walls, but they usually give up pretty quickly. I've never seen one driven to battering itself to death. Not by anger, not even by panic. That would be an explanation, but it came on so suddenly. It seemed to afflict all the animals at once. Except Lotus. She was spooked, but not aggressive. I hope that's still the case. Right. Let's head further inside. There, Lotus's enclosure. Maybe we can pick up her trail. Find something? I don't see any new tracks. She didn't try returning to the enclosure. Find anything that might put us on her trail? Huh. Let me see that. Smells... off. Starting to turn color, too. It shouldn't have gone bad so quickly. I've never seen an animal react so violently to spoiled food, and nothing this tainted would have passed our inspections. I think something was added, probably close to feeding time. No, it couldn't be. We care for these animals like they were our kin. No one I know would harm one of these poor creatures, let alone do something like this. No, thank the gods. I just deposited it here when the trouble started. I don't think she'd graze on any now that it's become foul, but I'd rather not risk it. We should keep searching.
Help! Someone, help!
Did you hear that? Someone's in trouble. This way!
Thought I was a goner. Like the others.
Elise, what are you still doing here?
Those lions crept up on me while I was distracted. Thought I was done for. Who are you, anyway? Some friend of Talamar's? He came back to find Lotus? I know he takes his duties seriously, but that's insane. I think I saw her drinking by the reflecting pool, but she's skittish. Bolted the second she saw me passing by. Good luck catching her. No thanks. I appreciate the help, but I'm not sticking around to herd Indrix in this mess. I'm getting out of here before I wind up something's lunch. You should do the same. Good luck with your Indrik hunt, Talamar. Try not to get killed.
Elise, wait! We need to stay together! Damn it! Let's hope we have better luck with Lotus. So much for enlisting the help of other keepers. I just hope Elise's encounter with the lions will make her more cautious. Running off like that isn't a promising start. What was her hurry, anyway? Sorry, didn't seem the time for an introduction. Elise is one of the junior keepers. She really cares for the animals, but she's only got about 10 years under her belt. She shouldn't be working alone. Must have gotten separated from her tutor. She was probably still in shock. Elise has always been a sweet and diligent caretaker, though she has been distant lately. Of course, with some talented exceptions, the average apprenticeship period is 50 years. If we only dealt with local species, 10 years might be within the realm of possibility, but not here. Lotus! After her!
Control her! Get a hold of your beast, Talamar! So, you managed to teach it some discipline after all.
The Royal Menagerie is closed to the public at the moment. What are you doing here? His Indrik? You mean the royal family's Indrik? Every animal here is property of the crown. He would be wise to remember that before his personal attachment interferes with his duties. Regardless, your search is over. She'll be secured in the inner paddocks until order is restored. This act of sabotage will not be easy to recover from. You claim you arrived after the incident? I believe you. Whoever drugged today's feed supply knew too much about our procedures to have been an outsider. You may go, but I want you off my grounds. Talamar can escort you out, since watching Lotus seems too much for him. Talamar, take your new friend here and get off my grounds. The Rangers will take things from here.
But Lotus... Yes, Conservator. Sorry about all this. I just want you to know that even if the Conservator doesn't appreciate your efforts, I am truly grateful for your help. Conservator Venalora. She's the appointed curator of the Royal Menagerie. All the keepers and rangers serve at her pleasure. I wouldn't take it personally. She's not one for niceties under the best of circumstances. If she really believes a keeper is responsible for sabotaging the menagerie, I can't say I blame her. I can hardly believe it, but it's the only explanation that makes any sense. Gods, no! I've worked with everyone here for decades. I just hope Venalora catches the monster. Thank you again for helping me keep Lotus from harm.
Over here! We need to talk.
Elise? I thought you had already left. What are you doing sulking around here?
I didn't want to get you too involved, but I need help and there's no one else I can turn to. I was the one who drugged the animals. The plan wasn't for them to break loose, just stir up a fuss so I could slip into the conservatory unnoticed. Evidence. The menagerie is a facade. The ugly truth behind Silvarwoad isn't so pretty. There are entire sections blocked off from most of the keepers. Venalora and her rangers guard them like a vault. The animals they take there never come back. People who question Venalora don't last here. If she claims the animal is a risk of some kind, it's just quarantined in the inner paddock, never to be seen again. Something terrible is going on, and I mean to expose it. Help me prove that. It's going to take a lot more convincing for Talamar, I can tell. I don't know that he'll ever forgive me for the mess I've made here, but maybe you can get him to hear me out? I'm a spy for the Queen. I mean, I was a keeper first, but when the Queen asks you to serve, you serve. She asked me to keep an eye on Venalora before she left for her coronation, but the Conservator has stonewalled my advancement. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became clear I wasn't going to get into her good graces, I had to improvise. We see how well that turned out. Yeah, I'm not going to let the Queen down. I gave her my word. All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story doesn't add up. She could be selling them to wealthy Altmer to line her own pockets, or even butchering them to sell their parts to craft workers. I'm a spy for the Queen. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became... Hey, we can't all be slick and daring Khajiit of mystery.
I don't know. More than anything, I want to make sure it wasn't all for nothing. If I can find the proof that Vinalora is abusing these animals, then maybe it will have been worth it, and Talamar can at least understand why I took the risk I did.
She poisoned all these animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting what? That the conservator is culling the herd? I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is insane. You know that? What do you need from me? It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora's rangers might have had a key. All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in. But you know there's something going on here, Talamar.
Let's just get this over with.